Welcome back to KF&JF podcast, guys. We're here to introduce another inspiring entrepreneur. And today, I'm so excited, man. You know, I thank all you guys for out there for doing what you're doing and supporting us. So let's just get right to it. Enough of the formalities. Introduce yourself, young man.
My name is Trevor Holland. I sell and buy cars from auctions. You guys can check us out all over.
What's your do you have a name? Do you have a what's the name of the business?
It's called Holland Auto, and that's my last name. So I and my mom, we all kind of thought it would be a good idea to bring it into the family a little bit. And it's more of a family business to me, sorta. I love having my family involved in it, helping my family out.
Wow, what have you learned from being in business, man? What is it like being some young entrepreneur out there?
It's kind of really in the car business. It's more about transparency and being honest. A lot of these car guys out there will lie and tell you kind of what you want to hear, but you gotta be honest with these customers. And I love having repeat customers. That makes me the most happy, really. Seeing people happy, helping their kids out when they get their first car, and seeing people come back. That's how you know you did it right.
Right. So some of the things when I think about when I used to buy cars back in the day, we used to buy them in the auto trader. So tell me a little bit about how that's transitioned from there to what you're doing now.
Yeah, so Auto Trader is kind of popular now, and a lot of these online ways to sell cars. Facebook Marketplace is really the big one now. Like if you think about it and look around, most of the people have bought cars off Facebook Marketplace, and that's where I kind of do most of my marketing. I've tried, I've tried all of them really. OfferUp now does there's a lot of different ways of getting away from it because now people like to kind of talk and then not really show up and stuff. Facebook Marketplace I've seen is the most serious customers, and that's what I like dealing with. I don't like dealing with. That's one of the hardest struggles also in the car business is trying to find real buyers. Excuse me.
Well, when you think about real buyers, what does that mean? Does that just mean someone that's got the money in their pocket, or really just looking to, you can tell when someone wants to buy something, they're interested in it, they're asking questions about it. What does that mean to you as a real buyer?
Well, a real buyer, I understand people that don't even have the money to acquire it. I mean, we help with loans, we do it all, but it's not that really. It's more of people actually showing up and actually just looking and checking out the car. Like that's actually close enough to a real buyer to me. But most people will say, "Oh yeah, I'll show up," and then they don't show up. That's what I don't think is a real customer, right? And I don't like it because it's kind of, even though I love talking about cars all day, it's kind of still a waste of time in the end of the day, right?
So it affects you, with your time and with mentally too, because you're all hyped up to do your sales, so to speak, and nothing happens. Talk a little bit about how that works when you're dealing with a customer. What are some of the things you look for when you have a customer actually getting ready to buy? What are you doing?
Well, I like to make the process easiest for customers, really. So when someone says, "Hey, I want to buy the vehicle," I will walk them through it. I'll help them go to do title transfers. I'll help them do it all, really. I like doing that because I see people buy cars. Like I've seen my family back in the past when I was younger. I would see them struggle with updating tags, doing all this, right? It's a lot of work, it really is. But when someone's there to help you, that sold you the vehicle and knows where and how to do it, it makes the process 10 times easier, right?
That is such a benefit to buying a car and all that. So what are some of those things that you talk about with a customer that they can learn? Your honesty. You know what I mean? When you're selling the car sometimes sells itself. The dollar amount is something you can work with. But when do they know that this guy was honest with me? I'll go back to him and buy a car again.
So for most people see first off when they come to a vehicle, they'll see if it was recently serviced, if tires are updated. What you guys all should check if you are buying vehicles: check tires, check oil, check it all really, because people love. I'm in the car business. I see people do it all the time, and I'm like, wow. There's a real shady and gray area of car businesses, but I like being the most honest. I'll buy vehicles, and I'm not worried about the profit as much. I'll add new tires on it, brand new tires, because I want safety. Safety is my biggest thing. If I saw someone get hurt in one of the vehicles I sold them, and it would be my fault, I would feel horrible, right? So I do oil changes. I service the vehicles. I send them to auto shops to make sure everything's good before I sell the vehicles, because I like being honest with my customers and they see that. They see the receipts and say, this guy really did want to make my ride happy, right? I don't want to see people break down on the side of the road and be like, oh, I sold him that car. That's That's not what I live for, and that's not what I want. I want people to be happy and want to come back.
Wow, that's the honesty that's in the game, you know. So when you think about it, man, you know, what have you noticed? Like some of the other guys that are out there trying to, you know, are they trying to make a buck, or is it a dog-eat-dog world in the business of car selling and buying? How's that?
There's a lot of, like you said, dog-eat-dog world. Like a lot of people that do that kind of stuff. Like I've seen people do like. They roll back mileage on cars, which is absolutely no. They do it. They have computers now. It's and that's highly illegal, but people still do it because they realize the title doesn't say a certain amount of miles, so they'll roll it back to what the title says, which is just I can't even believe people even try to do that anymore because it's ridiculous and unsafe. Because you think you have a car that's getting 50,000 miles, it has 160,000 miles, and it could, you know, seriously hurt somebody, right? That's ridiculous. I see people, I mean, do it all. It's really, really, really horrible how people, because they just want to make a quick buck, which I don't think is right. I would rather have a satisfied vehicle and a satisfied customer instead of having someone that's driving a car that, you know, might only last them 100 to 200 miles. I want a car to last, you know, 50 to 60,000 more miles, right?
Yeah,
and that's what it is to me. It's not right to do that to customers. And honesty is really the biggest policy in this business.
Wow, it's just kind of, you know, just the fact that you're talking about rolling back, because I remember that, you know, back in the 70s and stuff, people doing that, selling
that
cars.
That was easy back then.
But now it's totally illegal to do something like that.
Yes.
You know?
Back in the day, they used to just do it by hand or whatever. Now they got to do, it's like 5 ECUs they got to reprogram and do all kinds of nonsense. But the good scanners that I would also recommend you guys buy, I mean, they're only like 40, 50 bucks sometimes, even $100. I mean, it might be like, oh, what am I going to do with that? Listen, when you're going to go buy a vehicle, I would always check for codes and check the real mileage. So buy a $100 scanner. There's even a good one, I'll give him it on the links or whatever on his YouTube, so you guys can check it out. It's like $50. You plug it into the car. When you go check it out, it tells you what the real mileage is on the vehicle, and it also tells you if there's any codes. Because a lot of people buy cars, you can't smog in California, and then the car's really no good. That's another dog you don't think people do. They'll make it look, the car looks great, and then you go try to smog it and it don't pass.
Now, is there something that, you know, I heard about that, you know, at least in the state of California, they have to smog it before they sell it to you, or what's the process there?
So some people will say, yeah, you're supposed to smog it before you sell it to customers, which I always do. I always have a smog ready. A lot of people don't though. They'll say, oh, it'll pass. Here, I'll take $25 off the selling price, right, so you can go do it. Because it's only like 30 bucks. But if it doesn't pass, what are you gonna do then, right? Which that does happen a lot. So make sure you guys, you know, stay ready for that and check for codes. So if you're gonna go buy a car, another thing me and him were talking about is what you should do before you buy a vehicle. It's that. Get a scanner, be right. It's only extra 50 bucks to spend, but it's gonna save you a lot of money in the future when you can't smog the car.
Wow, you know, I like that, man. I like the way you're talking about those little triggers that people don't really think about when they buy a car, whether you're getting it small, whether you're checking the tire, whether you're checking the oil. All of those things are so important in doing that. So when a customer deals with, you know, coming into a particular, you know, buying and selling place, talk a little bit about your buying process.
Okay.
What you do when you go out and look for cars to buy. Are you doing that same thing when you're buying?
So, a lot of things I do is I'm in the more of the industry of buying, like, I like helping people get their first vehicles. So I do cheaper vehicles. I also do, you know, higher end. I also do everything. But one thing he said, like, what are you looking for, right? I'm looking for, first off, good tires, relatively low mileage, any major body damage on the vehicle, accidents, and how many owners. Owners are a big thing. People are like, oh, one owner cars sell for more. That's a good thing because the car's most likely well maintained and they know what has happened to that vehicle. A lot of these people that are selling 7, 8 owner vehicles, you don't know what happened. You know, it's 100,000 miles. In those 100,000 miles, 8 people owned it. You don't know what has happened, right? You
so
might
how
have
do you get that information though? How do you even go about even looking at it?
That's another thing right there. He just stated a great point. How do you look, right? I would, when you go to buy a vehicle, there's a $99 Carfax. You get 5 Carfaxes for $99. If you're gonna go buy a vehicle, absolutely. You'll see accidents, you'll see who owned it, where it was owned. If it was owned in Texas, rather than California, that's a big thing. There could be surface rust on the frame, rust all over the vehicle. Check body panels for rust if it's from Texas. You know, you got to know that kind of stuff. So I would definitely pay that $99 also. I know you guys are thinking, wow, this guy's telling me to spend a bunch of money when I'm going to buy a vehicle. It's going to pay off in the long run, right? When you got a rusty frame and your vehicle's no good, then you're going to be, oh, well, he's right. I should pay Carfax, right?
Right. But do you recommend Carfax, or is it some other, like, more low-key one that give you the same information?
So everyone says, I'm going to try to find a new Carfax. In the car business, everyone's like, I'm going to try to find a cheaper one. Carfax, bro, is the way to go. It's got everything you need to know, and it's honestly, I've checked, believe me, I put my research in it. It's honestly the most cost effective for your buck. Other ones are because normally Carfax is like $40 a scan or whatever, but if you buy the $95 or $99 one, you get 5 on it instead of 1.
Wow.
So it's a good deal. Also, I mean, you can also buy one if you want, but I mean, for me personally, if you're gonna go buy, and you're not gonna buy your first car, I'm gonna be honest with you, most of the times, you're not gonna buy the first car you check out. You're gonna check out 5 or 6 before you buy them. So I would have that 5 Carfax and check them all.
Wow, man. You know, talk a little bit about the cars that you purchased through this process. Not only being a guy that's buying and selling, but what have you taken it from that?
That's a good one. I've taken in like a lot of how cars are like kind of have been, and it still is a big industry, and I love seeing people that like love cars. Like when you're sitting around and just hanging out driving different, I love driving different cars. That's also why I'm in the business a lot, because you know, you guys get bored of your own cars, right? Like one car, I mean, for me, it's not enough because I'm driving a bunch of different ones, right? What I've taken away most is, though, like I said already, transparency and honesty is a big thing in the business, but I've also taken away is like cars make, like when you sell a car to someone that, especially their first car or something, I've never seen such a smile on someone.
Yeah.
They light up, like this is their key. Like it's like, whoa, it's like a whole nother thing to them, right? It's like, wow.
Yeah, it's one of those things, man, you know, that when I first bought my, I don't know, it was my whole life I was like, I'm going to buy me a Cadillac.
Yeah.
So I bought this Cadillac STS, man. I was going over there, I was seeing it up, I was driving it, I was seeing it over there. I was driving, I first bought it, I was like, oh man, this is a great car, you know, and I had it for a long time. So I know how I felt when I got that car. So talk a little bit about your first car.
Okay. So my first car, this is also a cool story because this is kind of what got me into car biz. I had a 2006 Ford Ranger. I was like, Mom, please, I want that truck, you know, whatever. I saw this nice red Ford Ranger, which also, that's another story because I didn't do the research I should have. I didn't know about how to buy cars that well. We were like, okay, Trevor, you want it, right? I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go get it. We went down there 4 hours, we got the car. The dude's like, oh yeah, whatever. The tags were like 4 years backdated. And it was a horrible experience. We went to the DMV, or it was the title transfer place. We ended up spending like almost $1,000 just in back fees. That's another big thing. Check the tags before you buy vehicles. If they're very far outdated, you're going to be paying a lot on the back end of it. And I've learned that, and I see it all the time. And that's what got me. But I love that car. I mean, I had it about 6-8 months, and I was like, Mom, I see these going up in value. I'm going to sell it. I made about $2,000 on it, right? I was like, whatever. I mean, I didn't buy it from an auction or anything. I bought it from Facebook Marketplace. I wasn't ever in the business. I bought my brother's Tesla at that point because I was in the vending machine industry first. I did a lot of vending machines. Okay. So then I was like, you know what, Mom, bought a Tesla. I bought my brother's Tesla because he had a job at Enterprise, so he had his own job. He got different cars now. I drove that Tesla for about another 3-4 months, and I sold that and made $4,000. So I was like, okay, I want to get in the car business, right? So I started researching, figuring out how, and I did it. And now I'm here, and now I do it all the time. And I don't even have an everyday driver now. I kind of just drive what I like. Right? That's the
life. Well, that's the life. If you can, experience different cars, because that's also makes you a better seller of cars.
Absolutely.
Because you're able to, kind of have a little diversity in how cars work. And matter of fact, just from back in the day, we used to buy Fords and Chevys because they were easy to fix. Nobody really bought a lot of other cars. What do you see about when you're looking at some of these Teslas and all these other cars that are so, crazy to fix, and you can't just put it in your backyard and start working on it?
So yeah, I see a lot now. Most cars nowadays are really, you can still do it. I try once in a while, but if I know it's out of my pay grade, right, I'll send it to an auto shop, right? But another thing is, like with what he was saying, there's a lot of like stereotypes on vehicles, and people will be like, this brand's better than this one for fixing. I mean, if you're a car guy, then yeah, you might know more on how to work on this car than others, right? It's more of a preference thing, I think.
Right.
But I will say, like those, like I see a lot of the like the Volkswagens and stuff, like those kind of vehicles. They give me they last a while, right? But they also are a little bit more like in a little bit easier to kind of take apart. And also Ford's like more brands that are more popular are the easiest to work on. They're parts sourceable. You can go to any AutoZone and say, I need this part.
Right. And they might even be just standard instead of electric.
Exactly. That's another thing. But I would say any vehicle you can get parts sourceable, even if it's older vehicle. If you can go down to AutoZone and say, hey, I need an alternator. If I can get an alternator right away, then it's easy to work on. It's more the thing that you have to wait 3 months because the part's not here or whatever, right? That's when it's hard.
It's just such a hard thing to try to nail down. But Ford found found on the road dead. Some of these other kind of acronyms they come up for these cars. But your experience, man, do you think that this is something that you going to do for a while, or just something that you're, as a young guy, you having a feel for the cars? Because I used to go to the racetrack in Fontana when I first met, the Andretti's, and I was had my head sitting on, I want to do that, but then I realized how dangerous it was.
I think, man, right now, I mean, I might still be young, right? You never know. Right now, I'm still young. I'm kind of just growing up doing it. I see my mom entrepreneur, so I'm liking it. I love this business right now, though. It's a lot of fun. I mean, what could I ask more for? I'm driving different cars, I'm having a great time. I'm making money on the vehicles. I'm kind of having fun, right?
All right.
But I would like to do some sort of kind of storefront, just like Nutrition Addiction here.
Okay.
I would like to do something like that. I mean, it's kind of more secure, right? You have more foot traffic and stuff. But I would like to stay in this business for sure.
All right.
I love it.
All right, man. That sounds great. So talk a little bit about what is it like, or what can you tell these people out here, and everybody, young and old, what it's like being an entrepreneur? What drives that spirit, man? Wanting not to work for somebody, but wanting to do things for yourself, be your own boss.
So he just mentioned a great point. For me, it's really, I don't mind working for other people, but I don't want to be in an environment that I have to hate going to work. Waking up at 9, I see my mom, my mom's an entrepreneur my whole life. I watched after her. I said, I want to be like her. She woke up at whatever time she needed to be at work, and she never hated going to work because she kind of made her own schedule. She loved being around the people she worked with. She hired the people she loved, and that's what it is about for me too. I don't want to wake up and say, oh man, I gotta go to work, right? That's nobody wants to feel that way, right?
Nobody wants to feel that.
I mean, I feel it in school right now, and I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want I don't want to have to go to class at 8 a.m. I don't want to have to be told what to do, and I don't want to have to kind of not want to be there. School I go, I'm like, and another thing is, a lot of these people working these 9-to-5 jobs, right? Same thing every day. School's the same way. I'm at class at 11.
It eats up your whole day, too.
And it's like, I get there at math at 11, right? Then ELA's at 1. It's the same schedule every day. I can't stand it. I want to be able to do, this at 1, and the next day I do that at 12.
Right.
Yeah, whatever, right? It's a whole different thing, and I love that.
Man,
I'll go buy cars that day and then sell them that day. I love that stuff. Making your own schedule.
Yeah, that's a big thing. So what do you think about, just letting them know that that's something they can do too out there? People that are your age or coming up as an entrepreneur, or do you tell them just to figure out your place?
So, I mean, I would tell them that entrepreneur is not for everyone. Also, school's not for everyone, or everyone tells you this and that.
Right.
Entrepreneuring is definitely not for everyone. There are struggles in business. I've had issues, right?
Yeah.
And we'll probably go into that in a little bit, how issues do affect business. But once you get your business up and smooth, which is never always going to be smooth, there's always going to be rocks in the road, right? As yourself an entrepreneur, you probably see that.
Yeah.
It's never going to be perfect, but you're going to get it as good as it possibly can be. But definitely, guys, look into entrepreneuring because, anyone can tell you, man, it's the way to go.
Right. Well, just talk about, you were saying, let's talk about challenges.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of those that you've had.
So, in the car business, like I said, even sellers that are on Facebook Marketplace, they're not always transparent. Also, as auction dealers, right? They're major dealerships like, big Chevy dealerships. They're selling 120 cars every 2 weeks, whatever, right? That's not what I'm not trying to boast about them, but they're not always transparent in the auctions either.
Right.
For example, you buy cars and they say something works, but it doesn't. But that's the good thing about this auctions and these business I'm in. They are always covered. So for an example, I'll give you guys a little example just so you guys can get in your head a little bit. I had a BMW. I bought a BMW. I thought it was a cool little ride, or I was driving around, whatever. I made it. I drove around a city like 3-4 times, whatever. Showed my friends it, whatever. I'm driving and the transmission starts giving me issues. Boom, boom, boom. Whatever. I'm like, okay, that's not good. I park it up. I get a tow truck. I send it back to auction, right? 3 weeks ago that happened. They replaced the whole transmission for me, no cover. You know how much it'd be on the transmission?
Yeah.
So if you guys were to purchase vehicles and join the team a little bit, you guys would see that you're always going to be covered and never have to worry. That's why I love this business too, because people are like, entrepreneur is so risky, you can lose all your money. First off, like I said, you got to be smart about what you purchase. But when you do purchase it, if it does have an issue, I have a 5-day warranty or whatever, so I see it's like 250 miles. So if there's an issue, I send it right back, right? But there's always issues, and I've had issues, right?
Yeah. So talk about the team that you're saying. How does that work? Okay. What is that? Is the building thing that you have, or talk about it?
So we have a huge team right now. Me and a buddy of mine. We also do exportation to Mexico too, which is a huge industry in vehicles. We buy auction vehicles here and we send them to Mexico City and stuff like that, places that don't have the needs and means to be able to get used vehicles to them at an instant. So we help them get them to them, and it's actually a bigger industry than here right now because they'll buy them right away. We have brokers down there. So and we also help people join the team here. So for example, if someone's trying to make an extra little income each month, or actually a full-time income, you can make a lot of money out of the car industry, right? We help them join the team. We'll get them set up. So if you guys are interested in that, you can also message me about that. We'll talk and we can help you out with that. And then we also have a lot of people out here. We have auto people that help us that work on the cars. You guys, if you guys would join the team, you guys would see that we have it all really. Body shops. We also do work in Mexico too, so they can they get cars fixed up. It's really cool, man. We bring everybody into it.
Wow, that's what's needed when you're talking about having a car and something you're buying from an auction, all these different things from interior to exterior that you want to get that. You know what, guys? We're going to be right back. We're going to take a break and come right back with Trevor.
See you guys.
Alright guys, we're back with Trevor, man. This has been a great conversation about cars and what it takes to own a car, to go buy a car, all of those things, man. Trevor, can you talk a little bit about how you've been dealing with your mom and her business, man? You're sitting here in her place and having a drink and everything. What you drinking?
I'm drinking a Hawaiian Sunset refresher. And it's been a great journey, right? It started off as a family business kind of, and then my siblings had to go to college and do their adult life, right? So me and my mom and a lot of her great team members we have here kind of been, I help out whenever I can. I have to do my business also, right? But she helps me as much as I help her, which I'm very thankful for too. This entrepreneurship, you can't do it by yourself, I'll tell you that. You need someone to help you no matter what. And even the littlest things you kind of need help with, right? Especially when I'm full-time school,
right.
There's got to be someone that's going to be able to help me, and that's kind of what she's been doing for me, right?
Wow.
And that's what I love about it.
And talk a little bit about how do you know how to make the drinks? Have you experienced the drinks? Are you in the sports that take these? Talk about that.
So I've been working at her shop a lot. I used to be here very often before I started my car business, but I've been in. I'm also a Herbalife distributor too. I've been selling products, helping out with her products, and also. And yes, I can make almost any drink in here. I've been around the product for the last 2 years and worked a while in it, right? I was here almost all the weekends and stuff. I'm always here helping out, sitting down. I come in here even. I don't even have to work here to help out. I just love helping out and, you know, seeing the customers come in and see how happy they are about, you know, getting. And my thing is, it's them getting to their nutrition goals, really.
Right. Yeah. We'll talk about that. Did you play sports, and did you have to have that in your nutrition goals to try to be healthy for the sports you played?
Yep. So I grew up playing a lot of sports, and then I transitioned into high school. I was like, you know, I'm gonna play football. I loved football when I was growing up. I played in most of it in my life. So I was like, I'm just gonna play that in high school. And then when this opened up, all me and my buddies used to come here after football, you know, get our muscle meals to get your muscles right and get us filled up for our protein right. And then I drink personally, and me and my buddies do it too. We drink a lot of the H3O or CR7s a lot, which is a hydration supplement. CR7, Cristiano Ronaldo helped make and stuff. So we've been, you know, a lot of people on my team. My mom would do samples and stuff and help out with that. And we all drink it all the time, and we love it, man. And without that, I feel like I wouldn't have been able to perform as good as I did. And it really helps hydration-wise. You won't get dehydrated during the hot summers in football. You know, I used to be thrown up before the business opened because I would be real dehydrated in football and all that. But once I started getting on the product and, you know, taking my CR7, H3O before practice and stuff, you can kind of feel your body feel more hydrated and healthy.
Wow, that's great. So have you introduced other people to this to the product and to your mom's business as well?
Yeah, of course. You know, I have a lot of friends that actually come here. I have a lot of I talk to a lot of people. It's also entrepreneurship is also about marketing, really. When you can talk to someone about it, it will either relate to them or relate to someone in their family and help them out also. And that's what it's about at this business, especially helping people out and making them, like I said, get to their nutrition goals.
Get to their nutrition goals. That's a big part of it. So, you know, what's the relationship, you know, you and your mom? You know, you talked a little bit about it. You got siblings and all of that. All you guys are, you know, like you say, some are moving on to other goals as they result. How do you feel as one of the young ones hanging around, man?
Yeah. So it's I mean, I grew up with all my, you know, 5 siblings, kind of a lot of us. It was, you know, chaos, whatever. And my mom she used to own 6 daycares. She's always been an entrepreneur, like I said.
Wow.
And for her to be able to balance out, I would be like, wow, that was awesome, Mom. But, you know, 6 kids, 6 daycares, you could imagine, right? It was a lot.
Right, yeah.
But you know, it's kind of different now that it's just me and her in the house, really. And it kind of we're like business partners a little bit. We work together so well, and we talk about ideas that may work or may not. And sometimes she'll look at me and be like, that won't work.
Yeah.
She kind of talks sense into me a little bit. I'll be like, we should do that. She'll be like, what are you talking about? Why would you do that, right? You know, and you need that. You need that really.
You definitely need that in entrepreneurship.
Absolutely, a little sense in you. Like, don't do that, right? Because she's been through all the rims. She's tried it out.
And that's kind of like what the podcast is about when we bring people into our network and you know, just like we talked about the cars and the mistakes and people make and what they need to look forward to. It's the same thing in being an entrepreneur. When other entrepreneurs come on, they're able to see the mistakes and what people have learned so that they don't make it. You know, that's the whole thing, you know. So if you had to have a pitch for your mom's business, what would it be?
You know what? I would like to say my big thing about it is also helping people get to their nutrition goals. But another thing is, it's so amazing how these drinks and shakes and baked goods taste like a treat. It's so weird to think like these aren't treats. It's kind of like a mental effect. Like it's like I'm having a treat, but it's good for you.
Yeah.
And that's what I think it should be. It's either like, man, like, wow, it's awesome. It really is. Like it's so empowering that people can come here and just reach their nutrition goals from just having basically a treat.
Right. You're right. You feel like you're having a treat, but really you're getting all of these other things. What you need for your body.
Absolutely.
And everything like that. So I'm you know, really happy to know the place and start to use the place as well. I'm really happy about it. Can you talk a little bit about your experience in customer relations? You know, sometimes when you're dealing with customers, you know, everybody comes from a different place. You know, what have you learned from that?
Well, I'm a big talker. I love talking to people, and you get to really meet people and kind of see how they're in this for what it is, right? What they're getting from it and what they want to get from it, what their goals are, right? And I love talking to people. Like I love it, and I see their stories and I see what they've tried. Everyone has tried something different in the weight loss and nutrition industry, and not all work, right? I mean, same with the car business. Not always going to work. But like for example, I'm sure you guys are going to see the clips of Jessica coming on, another one of our customers, and me and her, we always joke around. I mean, it's always, and the big thing about it is here, I love having a great vibe. People will come in here and mention, like, man, you guys are always awesome. People come and hang out and talk to us.
Yeah.
You got something on your mind you want to talk about, we can talk to you guys about it. We love it. The vibe, people come in here and hang out. We have music playing, you know, nice, cool energy. Everyone loves it, man. There's never a bad blood. Everyone's having a good time, right?
Yeah, I think
you got kids centers and whatever.
That. I think you're right about that. Just the fact that when you come in, the openness and the way the vibe is a big part of having a healthy place for people to have not only what they're getting and receiving for their drinks and all that nutrition, but just the conversation for the mind. You know, all of those things are important. Take a minute and talk about some things that we haven't talked about regarding not only your business but also your mom.
Big thing is, like, for this business especially, is you got, and also entrepreneurship, this is kind of a huge thing around everything, is you guys got to try. I know you guys have thoughts in your head like, oh, I want to try to do this, or I want to try to do this, or I want to try to go to nutrition addiction, but I'm scared. Or for another thing is, people will say, oh, I want to try this entrepreneur route, and I'm scared. You got to shoot and try, right? Listen, we've all tried things we failed on, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Everything's about failing, but if you get back up and keep trying, something will work, and that's what it is all about. Yeah.
How do you feel when you talk about your car business and that? Is that kind of the same thing for that?
Yeah. So, I mean, I started in different lots of routes, right? I didn't just start on cars. I thought maybe cars would be a great industry. I see there's a lot of fun involved. But, you know, I fail in the car industry every once in a while. You know, not every car is a big profit or whatever, right? But I also have failed in a lot of other business ventures. I tried vending machines. It worked, but I kind of veered towards the cars because I, wanted to. There's a lot of things you try to fail, right? I mean, not every business owner is going to get straight to the one business, right?
Right.
And then another thing is, I would also say, is shoot and try. Like, come here and try this, and I can guarantee you, anyone here will tell you, if you don't like a shake or a tea or anything, we'll get you a different try. We'll try let you get something different every time. That's a guaranteed one. It's your first time here and you don't like something, let us know. We'll make you something different almost every time. All the employees say it here. Mac will tell you, my mom will tell you, anyone here will tell you. That's what I will guarantee for you guys, for sure. Because that's a big thing. If you were like, I don't want to not like it, come and try.
Right.
We'll always help you out, and we're always going to be able to get you what you want or what you need or what you want to try.
And the key is to get you addicted, because that is the key to make sure that whatever you're doing, your nutrition and your addiction, those two things will go together, and you'll be a lot healthier. Man, just go ahead on and shoot us out with all the information as far as the website, phone, all that good information.
Yep. You guys can check me out on Instagram. It's gonna be Trev's Buys and Sells. He's gonna post it on I'm sure in the comments or something. You guys can also, my phone number is gonna be 610-405-2230, and you guys can message me, call me, whatever you need, and I'll be answering. You guys can leave me a voice message if I don't answer, but I'm always gonna be around my phone. The car industry, you guys gotta know it's gonna be around your phone, right? And yeah, that's gonna be it right there. And you'll tag it, and yeah.
We're so happy, man, you joined us.
Nice
man.
to meet you.
I'm so happy to join you.
Yep.
Take care.
Great time.
We'll be back next time. See ya.